Hello students, it's me, Professor Childers. How are you doing today? Today we're going to be learning about conduit bending. This is a conduit bender. This is the handle. The handle is swaged out so that when you're bending conduit on the floor that you don't lose the placement of your hand on the handle. The handle itself is hollow, and this is extremely important because when you're bending conduit, if you overbend your conduit, you can slip this over the end of the conduit and push it one way or the other to make it correct. There's various parts of this conduit bender that are very important. I'll try to zoom in on this. So this conduit bender is very important. Here we have the hook. This is where the conduit is going to go. The conduit will fit in here just like this. There's an opening so that you can take the conduit in and out. Very simple. Just like this. The conduit will go in there just like that. This will hold the conduit while you're bending the conduit. Next we have the shoe, which is right here. This is where the conduit lays to bend. This radius is very important because without this radius you wouldn't be able to bend conduit. Next we have the foot pad. This is where you're going to place your foot when you're bending conduit on the floor. Very similar to this. So you're going to put constant pressure here with your foot as you bend the conduit so that it doesn't kink, it doesn't wrinkle, and it doesn't become deformed. Next, this is an aluminum head conduit bender. You cannot bend rigid conduit with this bender head. It has to be a cast iron bender. To bend 3/4 inch rigid, you need a 1-inch bender. To bend 1/2 inch rigid, you need a 3/4 inch EMT bender. Now, back in the day, we used to bend rigid conduit with a hickey. So you've got very important marks on here. These are hash marks. You have 22 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, and when it's bent all the way over, it's 90 degrees. Next, you have a star. The star is the back of the bend. The notch right here is the center of the bend. The arrow here is the start of the bend. So, how is this important to us? It's very important because we need to know these angles when we're bending conduit. So, consequently, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of pipe and I'm going to bend a box offset. Now, we bend conduit two different ways. We bend it in the air like this, and we bend it on the floor or on the ground. So, very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the conduit, and it's going to stop right there. Okay? And I'm going to take and pull on the conduit ever so slightly, like that. I'm going to roll the conduit over. I'm going to slide the conduit bend that I just put into this piece of pipe, into the hook, and I'm going to bend it ever so slightly again. Now, hang this here so it doesn't fall and make a bunch of noise. I've just bent a box offset into this piece of pipe, and I'll zoom into that. And if you notice, yes, this piece of pipe is bent. Okay? Now, as a craftsman, as a tradesman, as an electrician, one thing we are going to do is we are going to take this piece of pipe and sight down it just like a rifle scope. Okay? Now, this piece of pipe has what we call a dog leg in it. That means that this piece of pipe is going this way just a little bit. I don't know too many electricians that can actually bend a piece of pipe without a dog leg in it. So to correct that, what we do is we take and put this piece of pipe back in here, fit it just right, and you're going to give it just a little bit of a push, a little bit of a pull. Next, you sight down the conduit, and it is perfect right on. Now, again, this is a box offset. A box offset is very important because this is what we do. This is what we use to get into an electrical box. The most common bend that you could ever do.